patiently, methodically. This was not rage, this was wrath. Wrath unleashed. The first great fleet engagement happened above the Jacari fortress world of Karshal. Its defenses had never fallen, not in centuries of war with rival empires. The Jacari waited, arrogant still, confident in their fortress cannons, their planetary shields, their armadas circling like fanged predators. They laughed at the incoming human signal. It was one sentence. Judgment has come. Then the skies tore open. Human fleets warped in layered formations, dreadnoughts at the fore, their hulls bristling with rail cannons and plasma lances. Carriers unfolded like wings, releasing swarms of fighters that streaked across space like burning meteors. Behind them, silent leviathans of war, ships whose designs had never been shown to the galaxy, moved with cold inevitability. The Jacari charged, screaming war cries, but their pride meant nothing. Their ships shattered against human fire like brittle glass. Planetary shields, thought unbreakable, cracked beneath sustained bombardments. Orbital stations melted in silence. The warlord who had once mocked humanity's restraint broadcast a final desperate plea across the galaxy. They will not stop, they will not. His words ended in static. His ship had been cut in two by a human rail volley. Fire that cleansed worlds. From that moment, the galaxy watched in horrified awe as Earth's fleets spread across Jacari territory. World by world, their empire crumbled. Some planets resisted, their citizens screaming defiance. Others surrendered before the first shot was fired, terrified by the silence that preceded annihilation. Humanity did not enslave, they did not occupy, they erased. Jacari shipyards became twisted ruins orbiting silent stars. Military academies were leveled to ash. Entire fleets were reduced to drifting graveyards. One by one, Jacari strongholds went dark. Alien observers described it as biblical. Stars blacked out by human warships, entire skies filled with burning wreckage. Some swore they heard the thunder of war even from light years away. What horrified them most was the silence. Humanity did not gloat. They did not broadcast triumph. They simply advanced, patient no longer, their wrath steady and absolute. The silence after. When at last the war ended, it ended not with a treaty but with silence. The Jacari were broken, their empire shattered into ash. Their homeworld lay scarred, its cities empty husks, its proud towers reduced to rubble. Survivors whispered in terror, unable to comprehend what had been unleashed upon them. In the galaxy's neutral zones, diplomats and traders spoke in hushed tones. They no longer mocked humanity's patience. They no longer doubted its limits. Because they had seen what patience, when finally broken, could unleash. Across the stars, a phrase spread from lips to lips, whispered in reverence and fear. Never provoke Earth again. Epilogue: the weight of infinity. Human fleets withdrew, vanishing into the dark as suddenly as they had come. No celebration, no speeches, no banners of victory, only silence. And in that silence, the galaxy understood. Humanity's patience is vast, wide as oceans, deep as time itself. They will endure insult, absorb wounds, wait through endless taunts. But patience is not weakness. It is a dam holding back a flood. And when the dam breaks, the flood does not stop. For humanity's vengeance is not measured in battles won. It is measured in annihilation. The Jacari learned that truth too late. The galaxy will never forget. The Dravari attack was not born out of desperation. It was not survival, nor even strategy. It was arrogance. The Dravari high clans, swollen with pride after decades of bullying weaker species, decided the humans had grown too comfortable. They whispered to each other in shadowed council chambers that Earth had gone soft, bound by treaties, suffocated by ethics. They said humanity's fleets had rusted in port, its admirals grown fat, its soldiers dulled by peace. So when the chance came, the Dravari didn't hesitate. They struck the colony of HFY IV without warning. Orbital defenses were sliced apart in hours. Cities burned under plasma fire. The colony governor's pleas for surrender were mocked, then silenced with the destruction of the planetary comm tower. The Dravari flagship broadcast the carnage across open channels, ensuring that every relay, every listening station, and every intelligence network across the stars could watch the humiliation unfold. In the aftermath, millions were dead. The survivors were chained in iron holds, forced to kneel as the Dravari commander declared to the galaxy, "Humanity's patience is weakness. Their promises of peace are cowardice. They are prey dressed in uniforms." The galaxy listened, and many believed. Mockery in the stars. The weeks that followed were filled with celebration, Dravari celebration. The high clans held feasts in orbit, toasting over stolen human wine and laughing at intercepted distress signals. They mocked Earth's silence, claiming humanity was hiding behind walls of bureaucracy and fragile diplomacy. "The humans will write angry words," one clanlord sneered, "but they will not fire a single shot." At markets across the Orion Spur, Dravari traders sold fragments of HFY's ruins as trophies. A child's broken toy, a burned flag, a shattered helmet, symbols of conquest flaunted for profit. Even the lesser species, those who had once admired humanity, began to whisper doubts. Maybe the humans truly were too patient, too restrained, too civilized. But they forgot something. Patience is not the same as weakness. Restraint is not the same as fear. And silence, true, cold silence, often hides the sharpening of knives. The breaking of silence. It began with a single transmission. Weeks after the massacre, a human signal cut across every star lane. Short, stark, unmistakable. "This is Earth. To the Dravari clans, your time is over." No negotiation, no declaration of war, no diplomacy, just the sentence delivered in a tone colder than vacuum. Moments later, tracking stations lit up. Human fleets moved. Not patrol groups, not escorts, not peacekeeping cruisers. Whole armadas. Dreadnoughts thought mothballed for centuries slipped from hidden docks. Carriers rose from asteroid shipyards that had been written off as abandoned. One by one, the skies filled with the black banners of Earth. The galaxy watched in horror as humanity's silence broke into thunder. The Dravari laughed at first. "They cannot reach us," they jeered. "They are too slow, too spread thin, too late." But laughter turned to unease as human fleets punched through borders faster than predictions allowed. Star systems blinked off the galactic grid, not because their relays failed, but because they had been silenced. Humanity's patience had ended, and what replaced it was wrath. Storm without mercy. The first retaliation strike fell upon the Dravari staging ground at Kaltoros Prime. For centuries, the fortress world had been deemed impregnable, its orbital defense rings larger than moons, its shield networks layered in overlapping walls of energy. The Dravari had built it as a monument to their dominance. The humans cracked it in a single night. Carriers swarmed in, unleashing storms of gunships that moved with machine precision. Rail cannons fired slugs the size of skyscrapers, tearing fortresses apart like parchment. The shield networks collapsed under a coordinated strike of focused plasma lances, their operators screaming as their consoles melted into slag. On the surface, the Dravari commanders prepared for ground resistance, but humanity did not land troops, not at first. They dropped orbital rods, kinetic spears falling at near-relativistic speed. Each impact erased entire military complexes, gouging craters dozens of kilometers wide. Cities turned to firestorms, forests evaporated, oceans boiled. Only then, when resistance was nothing but embers, did the human drop pods fall. Thousands of them, black steel coffins cutting through the smoke. The soldiers who stepped out wore no insignia, no emblems of pride, only cold visors, faceless and implacable. They moved through ruins like ghosts, executing survivors with surgical precision. Not warriors, not armies, executioners. Kaltoro's prime burned, and as it did, the Dravari high clans realized the truth. This was not war. This was judgment. The collapse of pride. System by system, the Dravari crumbled. Their fleets, once symbols of fear, shattered against human battle lines. The Dravari ships, decorated with spines and banners, looked like beasts roaring in vain